Hey everyone, it's Courtney and Seth here with another installment of
Unravel with the Jackson Travels.
Today we are going to be telling you everything you need to know about the Blues Brothers show at Universal Orlando.
So whether you're a fan of the movie, the Universal show, or both, this video is for you.
So grab a snack,
4 fried chickens, and a Coke.
Get comfy, and let's go! The Blues Brothers show at Universal Orlando is based on the movie The Blues Brothers, released on June 20th, 1980. The show now takes place on Delancey Street, however, the show once took place in other locations, such as Mel's Diner. Delancey Street is in the New York section of Universal Studios and is also home to the popular restaurant Finnegan's Bar and Grill. The Blues Brothers show typically has 5 showtimes throughout the day, every day of the week. Times will vary based on the season. For example, during holidays or special events, showtimes may range by more or less than 30 minutes. The first show time is usually around 10:15 to 10:45 depending on the season. In the Blues Brother movie, the two brothers Jake and Elwood Blues are on a mission to reunite their broken band to raise money for an orphanage that is about to be sold from the Catholic Church.
We're on a mission from God.
Don't you blaspheme in here! Don't you blaspheme in here!
Despite the brothers being slowly accompanied by their band throughout the movie, the Blues Brothers show only includes Jake, Elwood, and 2 other supporting characters. So if you're expecting to see a large band, think again. Around 5 to 10 minutes before showtime, Delancey Street will be filled with pre-recorded rock and blues songs to draw a crowd. Some of these warm-up songs include The Blues Is Alright, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, and Mustang Sally. At the same time, just to the left of Delancey Street, near the Irish Shop and Arcade, the Blues Brothers, Jazz, and Mabel can be seen coming out from backstage in the Bluesmobile, escorted by their green shirt TMs. They will make a circle around Starbucks to the back alley of New York. This is where Jazz and Mabel make their exit, go backstage, and prepare for the show. Jake and Elwood continue in the Bluesmobile to the film vault, where they will park and wait for their signal to drive in. This is a great time to go and get a photo with Jake and Elwood while they are in the Bluesmobile. However, be sure to listen to the green shirt TMs and don't stay and or step in front of the car. Instead, go up to the window and get a quick hello from Jake and Elwood. By the time you have finished with Jake and Elwood at the film vault, you will begin to hear the sound of a saxophone. The different actors that play jazz have their own variation of this intro. For example, some of the jazz actors will come out by freestyling with their own saxophone, others may come out with an accompanied track playing behind them. The most common backing track is an actual Blues Brothers song, Messin' with the Kid, from the 1978 album Briefcase Full of Blues. After Jazz draws his crowd to Delancey Street, he will begin to talk and warm up the crowd. Jazz will often ask if the crowd is here to see the Blues Brothers and if they are ready to party with Jake and Elwood. While Jazz is mid-sentence, he will be interrupted by his wife, Mabel. Pre-COVID, Jazz and Mabel would enter the street and or the stage area from multiple locations, such as the back alley of New York or from Finnegan's restaurant. Since COVID, they typically enter from the stage door, with Jazz coming first to warm up the crowd and with Mabel to follow. However, as of April of 2022, the pair have been going back to their old ways of re-entering through the street. Mabel is a variation of a character from the Blues Brother movie. In the movie The Blues Brothers, Mabel is the wife of Mac Guitar Murphy and the owner of a soul food restaurant that now employs Blue Lou and Mac Guitar Murphy. In the movie, Mabel is never named, leading fans to call her Mrs. Murphy. In the credits of the Blues Brother movie, the character is named as the Soul Food Cafe owner. Due to the lack of information in the movie, Universal Orlando named the character Mabel. Fun fact, the Mabel in Universal Studios Hollywood is actually named Wanda. Back to the show. At this point, Mabel will give us a small glimpse into her character, saying that Jazz should be inside helping her run her restaurant instead of hanging around with the Blues Brothers. even stating that Jake and Elwood still owe both of them money. All of these comments from Mabel are direct from the movie, with a few choice words removed to keep it family friendly.
The Blues Brothers? They still owe you money, fool.
Before we continue, let's not forget about Jazz. Jazz is also a variation of a character from the movie The Blues Brothers. Being one of the more complex characters of the show, Jazz is actually a combination of two characters from the movie, Matt Guitar Murphy and Blue Lou. Let me explain how we know this. In the original movie, The Blues Brothers, Mabel is married to Matt Guitar Murphy. According to his name, the original Blues Brother band, and the movie, he is known to play guitar for the band. Another character, Blue Lou, also a true member of the original band, went with Murphy when the band split and Juliet Jake went to prison. Blue Lou plays saxophone for the band and while with Mabel and Murphy, washes dishes in the soul food restaurant. As seen in the movie, Mabel is married to Murphy, not Blue Lou, so the confusion from the Universal show comes from Mabel singing to an unknown character named Jazz, her husband, who also plays a saxophone, not a guitar. This leads to the conclusion that the Universal show took two characters and meshed them into one very lovable character that is not original to the movie. And speaking of the famous scene with Mabel, let's keep going and talk about the leading lady herself. Mrs. Murphy, aka Mabel, plays a supporting character in the movie The Blues Brothers. The character, Mabel, at the Universal show is almost a direct copy and paste of the movie's character. Mabel still plays the wife to Jazz and the sassy owner of the soul food cafe. Almost identical to the movie, Mabel can be found wearing a pink dress with a stained white apron on stage. And another identical character trait from the movie is Mabel's attitude and fierce personality towards Jazz, Jake, and Elwood. So now that you know about the power couple, Jazz and Mabel, let's keep going with the show. So after Mabel finishes telling Jazz what she thinks of Jake and Elwood, she will then break out into one of two songs, Think or Respect. The song Think was featured in the original Blues Brother movie, while the song Respect was not featured until Blues Brothers 2000, the second movie. Both songs, however, were sung by Mabel and directed at Matt Guitar Murphy, so both are a solid song choice for Mabel's character. Out of the two songs, Think is the only song that offers a larger crowd participation number. To elaborate, Mabel will always tell the crowd to put their hands up on Freedom, a line from the song. The audience participation number is also directly from the movie The Blues Brothers. As you can see here, Jake, Elwood, and other restaurant patrons raise their hands when Mabel sings Freedom. The song Respect, though more well known, is just more about singing along with Mabel. No matter which song Mabel chooses to sing, we will also get to hear from Jazz. During both songs, Jazz will play his saxophone along with Mabel and usually has a short solo to showcase his skills. After Mabel is done with her song, she will then proceed to tell Jazz to get her money as you hear the band's introduction, I Can't Turn You Loose, playing over the speakers. This is how you know that Jake and Elwood are coming on Delancey Street. Jazz will instruct everyone to turn right towards the Transformers ride.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is the distinct pleasure of the management to present to you the evening star attraction. Here they are, back after their exclusive 3-year tour of Europe, Scandinavia, and the subcontinent. Won't you welcome from Calumet City, Illinois, the show band of Juliet Jake and Elwood Blues, the Blues Brothers.
Here, you will then see Jake and Elwood speeding towards the crowd in the Bluesmobile. Don't worry, the green shirt TMs are there to make sure the road is clear and that Elwood knows exactly where to stop. When they stop, Jake and Elwood exit the Bluesmobile and proceed to the stage. Note that the song I Can't Turn You Loose is still playing during the entrance to mimic another classic scene from the movie when the Blues Brothers enter the Palace Hotel Ballroom. Jake and Elwood climb the stairs up to the stage. You can see that Elwood has his famous briefcase on his wrist. During this time, Elwood will retrieve his harmonica from his briefcase and briefly show it to the crowd, just like in the original movie. Also, be sure to look behind Jake and Elwood to see posters for the Blues Brothers show. These posters are also a replica of a prop from the Blues Brothers movie. As you can see, the patrons of the orphanage can be seen handing out the same posters to local businesses to spread the word about the gig. Once the intro is over, Jake and Elwood waste no time getting into their first song. The set list for the entire Blues Brothers show may include Hey Bartender, Flip, Flop, and Fly, Jailhouse Rock, Do You Love Me, Everybody Needs Somebody to Love, Gimme Some Lovin', Rawhide, Rubber Biscuit, Sweet Home Chicago, and Soul Man. And do you know what setlist song also mentions another Delancey Street favorite? You guessed it, Hey Bartender. Jake always starts the song by saying, "This one is for the bartenders over at Finnegan's," and continues with the song. Depending on the time of year and the weather, the Blues Brothers may have a shorter set list than normal. For example, during the hotter summer months, the Blues Brothers may only play 2 songs, while in the cooler months they may play 3 songs. Also, they may have shortened their songs to ensure that the actors are not overheated. After all, they are wearing black suits in the Florida sun. Some of the set list songs are both from the movie and on the album of some sort, while some of the songs did not make an appearance in the movie. 2 songs that are always played, no matter the time of year, are Soul Man and Shake a Tail Feather. The second or third song is always Soul Man, depending on the number of songs being played that day. This song was originally performed by Jake and Elwood on Saturday Night Live and did not make an appearance in any of the Blues Brothers movies. However, it is still one of the better known songs, even among the younger crowd. A fun fact is that this song was actually played on the Nickelodeon show, Drake and Josh, in one episode. This is especially fascinating considering that for a long time, Universal Orlando was home to Nickelodeon Studios, who owned the show Drake and Josh. On the show Drake and Josh, the 2 brothers dress up as Jake and Elwood and perform Soul Man at a talent show. Also, when Jake and Elwood are singing Soul Man, don't be the person that Jake calls out for not participating. During the build-up to the last portion of the song, there is a slight break with no lyrics. During this time, Jake will try his best to get the crowd involved by putting up one hand. He will single out people standing near Finnegan's or those who have been a silent participant in an attempt to get them to participate. If you are lucky enough to visit Jake and Elwood during the Christmas season, you may also hear whimsical variations of songs, such as Snowman instead of Soul Man. Also, Jake and Elwood play Christmas songs and have decorative props, such as Santa beards and a Christmas tree decorated with beer cans. During the regular season, only one of the setlist songs uses a prop, well, besides a harmonica. The song is Rawhide, sung by Elwood himself. This song originated from the Blues Brothers movie and is said to have both kinds of music, country and western.
Oh, we got both kinds. We got country and western.
Of course, this song is also the theme song from the TV show Rawhide.
Theme from the TV show Rawhide. Thank you.
In the movie and in the Universal show, Jake uses a whip to smack the stage, and with the help of the sound booth, which is located behind the crowd near the exit of Finnegan's Bar and Grill, produces a loud bang to go with the country western theme of the song. And yet another fun fact is that the song Rawhide was also sung in the movie Shrek 2 by Donkey.
Knock 'em out, pound 'em dead, make 'em teeth, buy 'em drinks, meet their mamas, milk 'em hard, Rawhide! Yeah!
And coincidentally, Shrek was also, until recently, an attraction on Universal property and is owned by Universal as well. However, the Donkey meet and greet still remains at Universal, just a short walk away from Delancey Street. After Jake and Elwood perform their set, they will act as though they were packing up to leave. At this moment, we hear Mabel over the speakers as she re-emerges from backstage, leaving Jake, Elwood, and Jazz stunned. At this time, Mabel begins to sing Shake a Tail Feather, a song featured in the original Blues Brothers movie. Let's pause a moment and talk about another character discrepancy that doesn't match the film. If you remember, Shake a Tail Feather was performed by Ray Charles in the movie The Blues Brothers when Jake and Elwood visit Ray's Music Exchange for some new musical equipment. At Universal, the song is performed by Mabel, who starts out with lyrics talking to her husband Jazz about joining in on the fun. These lyrics are mirrored from Ray Charles's lyrics in the movie. However, they have been slightly altered to better fit with Mabel's attitude and relationship with Jazz. The song and dance moves that are found in the movie are extremely similar to the moves that Jake, Elwood, Jazz, and Mabel perform. For example, in the movie, there is a crowd participation number in which people on the street hear the music and begin to dance along. This is mirrored in the Orlando show since the crowd watching the show is encouraged to dance along in the streets. Jake, Elwood, Jazz, and Mabel encourage crowd participation by naming out dance moves for the crowd to do. The dance moves are the swim, the bird, the funky monkey, and the twist. So if you want to be a pro and dance along with Jake and Elwood, be sure to practice your moves before heading to the park.
Hit it.
As the song comes to an end, Jake and Elwood will showcase some of their best moves, so be sure to cheer them along as they round out the last song. Before COVID, Jake and Elwood would take the dance party into the streets and complete the swim, the bird, the funky monkey, and the twist with patrons. Ever since COVID, the pair remains on stage and dances along from a distance. However, as of April of 2022, the characters have been slowly working their way back to normal crowd interaction, such as going back into the streets with patrons to give a more personable show experience. As you can see, Jake and Elwood still perform these moves. They are just doing so on the street with the participants. After the song ends, the same opening song, I Can't Turn You Loose, is played as the pair says their goodbyes. As they exit the stage, Elwood states, "We have to go. We're on a mission from God." As they reach the top of the steps, Jake and Elwood pause for a photo op by attempting to get the crowd to produce one more roaring applause. At the same time, the green shirt team members are removing the red stage barriers to allow patrons to come up to the sidewalk. This allows patrons to greet Jake and Elwood as they leave and also clear the road so the Bluesmobile can make its exit. So if you want to get an up-close hello with the pair, this is also a good time to do so. Now is also a good time to talk about the possibility of an encore. At certain times, Jake and Elwood will perform an encore at the end of their set. Typically, Jake and Elwood only do this if the crowd has been top-notch. During this encore, Jake and Elwood will perform Everybody Needs Somebody to Love. Elwood will start the song by first giving the crowd the lyrics to the song right before they are meant to be sung. The pair will listen to the crowd sing back to them for a few moments before making their traditional exit. This is an extra tribute from Jake and Elwood to an awesome crowd. As the road clears, Jake, Elwood, Jazz, and Mabel make their way back to the Bluesmobile with Jazz and Mabel seated in the back seat. Before driving away, Elwood will use his speaker to talk to the crowd one more time. Often you can find him quoting the original movie, or he may just give a shout out to the unofficial Blues Brothers fan club. At this point, the show is over and the sounds of Delancey Street go back to normal, non-blues tunes. However, be sure to keep an eye on the Bluesmobile as it will drive backstage where it originally appeared. So now, let's talk about the famed Bluesmobile. The Bluesmobile used at Universal is a replica of the car from the movie. The show actually has two cars in use and both variations can be seen on any given day. One way to spot the difference of the two replicas is the actual speaker that sits under the large prop speaker. As you can see here, there's a noticeable difference. Also, don't forget to check out the famous license tag on the Bluesmobile. As with most old cars, sometimes the Bluesmobile may break down or need a tune-up. If you are in the right place at the right time, you may get to see the Bluesmobile while it's down for the count. Most of the time, you can see the Universal team members attempting to start the car. However, sometimes it's a team effort to get the Bluesmobile back to its home, which is backstage. Also, be sure to look at the dash of the Bluesmobile. You may see some hidden Easter eggs from the movie. For example, you may see an envelope addressed to the orphanage from the movie. We can only assume there is cash inside to save the orphanage. You may also see Elwood's driver's license, and on occasion, you may see a can of Cheese Whiz.
Did you give me my Cheese Whiz, boy?
A business card for Ray's Music Exchange, and many other wacky props. Also, if you want to get really technical with the storyline of the Blues Brothers movie versus the Universal show, we can also look at the Bluesmobile more closely. Considering that the Bluesmobile literally falls apart at the seams during this scene, we have to assume that the Delancey Street gig takes place before this tragedy. One thing that is difficult to explain is the fact that Jazz, aka the morphed character child of Murphy and Blue Lou, is the only bandmate with Jake and Elwood at the Delancey gig, since Jake and Elwood had already connected with Murph and the Magic Tones before going to get Murphy and Blue Lou. Since Mabel and Jazz are the only characters with Jake and Elwood, we can assume that the Delancey Street gig directly follows the scenes of the Soul Food Cafe, with Murphy ultimately leaving Mabel for the band. This theory also makes sense considering none of the other bandmates from Murph and the Magic Tones tagged along to the cafe in the movie. One additional thing that I wanted to add is regarding the Universal Studios app. From the app screen, you can search at the top for the Blues Brothers show. From here, you can click on the show and find a lot of useful information. One thing that is especially helpful is the showtimes. You can see all of the showtimes that have already happened and will happen for your selected day. You can also click on any of the future showtimes and set a reminder for them. At that point, the Universal app will alert you at your selected time so you don't miss the Blues Brothers show. The app also has map information as well as general information about the show's accommodations and more. If you want to view and admire some merchandise, you can also head over to the Hard Rock Cafe in City Walk. Downstairs, near the restrooms, you can find some awesome Blues Brothers posters, glasses, records, and much more. So that is the Blues Brothers show at Universal Orlando Resort. A show that has stood the test of time and is constantly making people smile every day. If you are visiting Universal soon, be sure to stop by and say hello to all of the TMs at the show. Also, if you are enjoying the show as much as we do, be sure to give them a fist bump. A fist bump is a way to give praise to Universal team members who are doing an awesome job. If you are not a Universal Orlando annual pass holder, you can give a fist bump by messaging Universal on their Facebook page, typing real person to talk with a live agent, and then passing along your fist bump. Your comments go directly to the team members and their supervisors. We also hope you will subscribe to our channel for more Universal Orlando content. So until next time,
Pinocchio from Pennsylvania. Hope to see you on your next venture.
we hope to see you on our next adventure.